Agri-Food Exporters Association of India. Sir, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. Tell us, how big a news is this for the industry, especially at a time when the industry was already reeling under the pressure of US tariffs? How is the industry viewing this development?
I think my smile on my face sums up a lot of things. Definitely, over the last, let us say, 3 months, we have not seen a smile on our face. But this European Union's the listing of all the establishments which have been long due for the past 6-7 years, which have come through in the last 1 week or so, is definitely a welcome change. I would place it on record our appreciation from the exporters side. The amount of work our Minister of Commerce has put in. Mr. Piyush Goyal has taken up this issue personally and made sure all the units are listed as soon as possible. And the entire Ministry of Commerce officials have worked overtime to make sure all the units are approved. So definitely this is a welcome change, and this will definitely help the industry to diversify markets from US into Europe, which is one of the biggest markets. Though it may not happen overnight, but over the next 6 to 9 months or a year, our volumes to Europe will go up. So this is definitely a welcome change, and we appreciate and we thank the Union government and our Prime Minister and the Ministry of Commerce for taking this at the right time. I think there is no better time than this, when this approvals would have come.
Understood. So since you're saying that volumes to EU and Europe are expected to inch higher, if you can put things into perspective and put it into numbers for us, how much do we export to Europe currently, and how much is it expected to inch higher by on account of this move?
See, our sales to Europe is, I think, slightly less than 20% of the total volume now. With the US taking more than 40%, Europe is slightly around 15 to 20%. So we expect at least another 10% jump in the 6 to 9 months period from now. That is really going to help the exporters and release the pressure from the US market.
And since the industry is already reeling under the pressure of tariffs from US, I believe US is not a market that the industry is eyeing at the moment, and the focus will also shift to EU. But apart from these two markets, which other markets does the industry cater to and is looking forward to increasing their share in those markets?
Of course, UK is one. Again, we'll have to appreciate the government for the FTA, which has just happened with UK. That is one market which could open up. The other market is Japan. We are aggressively pursuing to expand our Japanese market. China is there. And then Russia market is one good market which we have requested the Commerce Ministry officials to take it up and give us, because most of the units to Russia, most of the units are not approved to the Russian market. If that market also opens up, that will help us. And South Korea is one good market. Our government though we have FTA in place, there are few issues which need to be sorted out as far as the seafood sector in the FTA. If that is sorted out, I think the South Korean market also will open up for our exports.
Understood. So that's as far as exports is concerned. But since we were also talking about the American market, I wanted to understand 50% tariffs came into effect in the last week of August. Are we already seeing impact on the industry, and have we completely stopped exporting to the American market?
See, you should understand 50%, they say 27th is the deadline, but for all practical purposes, the container has to be on board before or on the mother vessel before the 7th of August or 9th of August, one of these dates. So the 27th of August deadline really doesn't matter, because all the 100% of our cargo is transported through the sea route. For airlift, yes, we had the deadline till 27, but we don't do any product by air. 100% is by sea only. So the deadline of 27th really doesn't matter. It has already come into effect from 7th or 8th of August. Yes, there is a decline in the exports to US. There is a sharp fall because none of the exporter nor the importer is not in a position to take any of the additional tariffs which have been imposed on India. There is a sharp decline. There are few containers which are going, but I would say hardly anything. Less than 5% containers are being shipped.
Okay, so less than 5% containers are being shipped to the US because of the tariffs. But sir, since you're with us, I also wanted your thoughts on the benefit the industry will enjoy on account of lower GST on inputs. I believe input on several products, farm inputs, fish seeds, fish oil has also been lowered. Will the industry be passing on the impact totally to consumers, and how much will retail prices fall by on account of this GST reduction on inputs?
Uh, See, that's a fair point. But when it comes to the farm inputs, all the inputs will be directly beneficial to the farmer. That is good in a way. At least the farmer gets the benefit. His production cost would lower slightly. They could come down. So that will help the farmer. But when it comes to exporter, I don't think the inputs, the GST inputs will really affect the exporters. But the farmers, yes, we are happy for at least that helps the farm sector.
Understood. Sir, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what the industry's viewpoint is when it comes to the latest development from EU. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
But to,
Thank
dis-
you for reaching out.
but to discuss this in greater detail, we are also